What's up, gang? Erik Ruck here with Jackson Schoepp. We are talking about the Kinetik project Intuition today.
Let's do it.
Talking about all things cable, park, winch, all terrain.
Yep, just a durable all-around boot for any one of those missions.
All-terrain vehicle. We're talking Dominic Hernler, one of the most stylized, effortless, just flowy, find your zone riders there is. And this has been his boot from day one.
Yeah.
And it's been cool to see the evolution.
Yeah, and it's been cool to watch him lay the groundwork for like the path that we were set on for this boot development, specifically for the cable and winching side.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously an amazing cable rider, but arguably one of the most creative park and winch riders. I feel like he's been doing a lot more, all of his Red Bull sections the last couple of years have all been just amazing, creative and visually, stimulating.
Right.
Winch section.
It's an art to Dom, for sure. It's more of an art than a sport, it seems, at times, which is cool.
100%. Yeah, I remember, Dom, the first time I saw him, he was riding, this was back in the day, he was riding a Phoenix with Preston boots.
There you go. I know a guy who might know a thing or two about that setup.
Yep, for sure. But yeah, no, I was so pumped the first time I saw Dom ride, and he was riding the green Phoenix back in the day and the Prestons. And yeah, I remember him riding that and then like him really becoming a part of the crew. And when it came time for him to fire up his own board, the Kinetik, came to fruition, and then the Kinetik boot, and here we are.
Yeah, and I think it's been so fun to follow it through the years, and like everything that we do with the Kinetik is with the idea of cable and park and winch riding in mind, right? So we're constantly thinking about a supportive boot with a ton of different leverage, more stiff and responsive than we typically would need from some of our boat boots because of all the different positions that you put yourself in with park riding, right? Like think about the different, not only the different ways that you ride on the rails, but the way you're coming off of rails, the way that you're riding a wall ride, the way that you're trying to bank into stuff. Like we really need a stiff supportive boot in those areas just so that you have a tighter boundary so you don't get too far out the front, too far off the back. And I think that's where the Kinetik really shines.
Yeah, giving you that lateral and your medial support for being able to lean against presses.
Yeah.
And be able, the tweakability for, when it's needed.
Right.
And then the support when it's needed.
For sure. Just giving you like we talked about with some of our higher end boat boots, like if you don't land perfect, you're still gonna be in a position to recover from that given the support that you've got side to side.
I feel like park riding and that whole world of being in presses and using different pressure points on your board, I feel like having something to lean against for that pivot point and really being able to trust that is really an important feature in a boot.
Right, and having it be consistent, right? Like
consistent.
Like making sure that these aren't gonna get too blown out too quickly. And like, I mean, obviously, like I love talking about the EXP liner that we have in these things. If you are on a winch mission, if you're at a park that's either cold or a tougher walk to get back to, like we have a removable Intuition liners. Not only is it heat moldable to perfectly match your foot, you can go and walk around in these things and make sure that you're protecting your feet as you're getting back to the start dock or pulling that winch rope to the other side of the mission.
Yeah, that's an amazing feature for a classic ingredient to all of our boots, Intuition.
Of course.
And the fact that it's a removable, walkable liner is, that's taking it to the next level.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, don't let that get in the way of some of the other cool materials that I'll go on and on about, right? Like, I think it's so cool, like this new Cordura advanced nylon fabric that we're using. It's actually the same fabric that we use on the one boot, and it's laminated with that super structural EVA foam in the back, just to be able to say that like this is our stiffest boot on the boat, stiffest boot on the cable side, super supportive in those areas. And then we obviously have our other brand partners like Super Fabric, right? So the tongue of those liners are aligned with Super Fabric, which not only are really good when it comes to abrasion from the laces, but they're really good with that edge change and that responsiveness just because there's way more structure going on.
Very cool. What is this boot sitting on? What's the chassis looking like?
Yeah, so brand new for this year. It'll be on the Mainframe 2.0 low cut skeleton. So constantly refining our already existing designs. We've refined the Mainframe to the Mainframe 2.0 by adding a more rigid connection between that skeleton or that shell of the EXP boot, the Kinetik, with the base plate. So by having a better connection there, you're able to translate more of that energy directly to the board underneath your feet. And yeah, I think so far it's been working out really well.
What is the benefit of the low cut on a park board?
Yeah, so
not a park board, but a park boot.
yeah, that helps you when it comes to the EXP nature of these boots, right? So it's not exactly traditional with our boat boots to be taking the liner in and out. And so by having something that's low cut, we can get a lot of the support through just the liner. And then when that liner is slid into something that's low cut, you can wrap that line or that shell around the liner, right? So it makes it more ease of use when it comes to kicking that board off or putting that board on back on the start dock.
Yeah, especially because there's just, there's a lot of parts rubbing against each other, a lot of movement, with a liner sliding into a boot and out of a boot. So
Yeah.
100%.
sure.
Totally get it. Let's talk about the size range.
Yeah, so the size range on here will be similar to our high-end boat boots. It's going to be everything from 6'7" all the way up to 13, 14. We're offering 7 sizes in total, and like that's just another way that we're trying to make sure that everybody that rides these things is getting the perfect intuition fit, right? Like you're going to get something that's sized for you, and if it doesn't fit exactly perfect, you've always got that option to heat mold.
Yeah, that is a solid range right there. That's a solid range. Let's talk about flex feeling, vibes, all of the aboves, because we all know that Dom Hernler brings the vibe when he's shredding. So
For sure. And so like we talked about with those different presses, with the different positions you put yourself in on a rail versus a typical boat, we find more benefit in more of a stiffer boot. So this will be a 9 out of 10 flex rating on the flex scale. It'll be one of our stiffest boots, which goes along with that story of that new Cordura fabric that we're using, and it'll just really allow you to lock in all those different presses.
yeah, that's really cool. Kind of looking at, how many legacy boots that we have in our line. This is definitely up, in the top tier of a legacy boot. I mean, Dom Hernler, in my eyes, is the Scott Byerly of cable riding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this boot has progressed through so many different eras.
Yeah, the cable renaissance, right?
Exactly, and I feel like there's been really a lot of different eras of what cable riding is asking for and what it needs. And I feel like this boot has really evolved nicely through all those different platforms, levels, and eras of cable riding.
100%. And I think it's just so unique, like the approach that Ronix has taken on all this, because we like to do things our way, right? And so as walkable boots were becoming more prominent in the cable market, we started from the ground up and designed a boot that was like our way for this type of use. And so I'm excited to see that evolve.
Me too. Very cool.